Can you tell me a little bit about your background and like who are you? What do you do, and how did you come to be involved in it?
Sure. So one thing is that by now, like Buffalo becomes my transport, second home.
Mm-hmm.
And so I came to Buffalo as an Indonesian student first to UB, and in my senior year, I got involved with Buffalo-Niagara Waterkeeper through fish conservation project. Another thing is that, as I've mentioned in the talk, I have read one of the Burmese blog saying that she came and visited Buffalo, and then she brought her friends here, sent her back home with like tons of
I just picture like a trunk full of fish.
Dry fishes, and which scares me as an undergraduate who were as I were in environmental studies, learning about all these waterways pollution. So I felt obliged that I have to educate, or I have to give access these information to my community here in Buffalo. So that's how I get back connected with the Burmese community here in Buffalo, and then how I get connected through Waterkeeper.
I think especially what I love about that is, like, I imagine this blog is not in English,
No,
right?
it's all
so
in Burmese.
and like I would never really probably have known. So I think it's amazing that you found that, and then you were like, no, I'm gonna do something about it. And then you went out and found an organization, and you're like, yes, it's my community, and my community needs to not eat poison.
Yes, they are really truly dangerous, as you know, especially for women who are in the age of who can bear a child.
Yeah, especially because the toxins, right? They'll what is it? They develop in your fat, like they
they can accumulate it in your fat, and then it affects the whole development of the child in their ovary.
Yeah, it's a huge issue. Absolutely. Okay. So I guess that explains how your interest in the topic began, right? You found it on the blog, and of course, really, it's very important to you because it is of your community.
True. And then through that, I figured out that it's not only, through the outreach and through the outreach and educating, I figured out that it's not only limited to our community. And I figured out that there are anglers who fish from African American communities, Italian immigrants. They stay fish, and then it's somehow stay work as part of their staple food in their family.
Yeah.
So it leads, and then through that it leads to food and social justice issues.
And food scarcity issues too, right?
Yes, and dependence on their economic level. Yeah.
I think it's definitely got a lot of facets.
Yes. And it wouldn't be a problem if the waterways are cleaned, and if it doesn't matter about their socioeconomic level, but definitely the waterways are not clean, and it is supposed to be clean, but we're not there at that point yet, since it has been accumulated and so much industry pollution.
I kind of want to ask you a question that's not on here, and you can just not answer if you like, we'll cut it out. But I'm curious, do you think that we, like as an environmental scientist, do you think that what we really need to do is a massive cleanup, or do you think that the waterways will eventually cleanse themselves? What's your take on that?
Waterways will. It's the nature itself has wonderful walk, and then you can somehow say that it will cleanse by itself at one point, but it will take a long time. And then these pollution in our waterways has been. It was there, and it has been done by industry population by centuries ago, and as you know, and our usage and then the industrialization, it's not slowing down, nor it is decreasing. Rather, it is increasing and it at a fast pace. And the human population is rather increasing at a fast pace as well, but not at many places. For example, just recently, only Buffalo has been catching back on the growth rate.
Population growth, yeah.
Yeah. So we do need to take our part in the cleansing of these waterways, and it can. There are some waterways that which has been increasing on their water quality, and the aesthetic part of the nature waterway as well. So on those, we shall definitely take part in it to question the rate to cleanse the waterways.
Thank you for that. I think I've told you before, I think that a lot of environmental issues are also social justice issues.
Definitely, yeah. It all originates in social justice issue, yes.
I think that's important, so thank you. Okay, I just answered this one a little bit, but why would you say that this issue is important for social workers to understand?
So as I have mentioned, at first I thought that all the environmental problems are just it has to be dealt like scientifically, environmentally. But then later, when I get to understand the sociological perspective of it, it all originates back in social injustice issue, and then we are the one who has to, and then we in the standpoint that who has more privilege, or who are in the hands of being able to walk through to change these social injustice and environmental injustice, shall promote and definitely make a change. So in that sense, social worker definitely came in. Social workers are the one who are dealing to make an impact in people's life, and it may not be in a larger group. I mean, a social worker has they have developed a skill that to work on more on a one-on-one or small group of skills, and more on human basis. And at the same time, for example, if you may encounter with, you may have to take care of a family or children who get lead poisoning, perhaps. I'm just giving an example, and then
which is a great environmental example, right?
Yes, and as a social worker, then you need to, not only you need to understand how to walk through this problem, and then counsel, and then give a better access to the family and child, but having knowledge of why there is lead poisoning problem going on in Buffalo, for example, and why this problem has originated, and then why especially this particular group of people suffer but not another. And through understanding, it will definitely open up our social worker mindset, and then she or he will have more empathetic view on dealing with their clients. So in that sense, definitely, it's all related. I would also
argue that is a great example, I think, because people of color in Buffalo and people who don't have as much money, like below the poverty line in Buffalo, are much more affected by lead because they're living in older homes that aren't up to code generally, right? But I think social workers do like work on the policies right now. Even there's on
advocacy and
advocacy and things like that too.
Yeah.
So, but only if they like are aware that environmental issues are also social justice issues.
Yes, and then I think social worker will be more empowered to walk towards the policy change and advocacy. Also, if she or he is aware of, all these problems are not originating in particular families or particular group of people, but rather it originated in like the larger issues such as gentrification or environmental or injustice or social injustice, food injustice.
Or systematic racism.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it's definitely it is having aware of all these issues will make a social worker to be able to make a larger impact.
And I think you're right too. It should inform interactions even one-on-one with clients too. Yes.
So even when you I'm not sure. I'm just I'm assuming that probably when you're encountering clients and having all these lead poison issue or particular particular health issue or cancer, and then you may wonder that why all these people are suffering these particular type of health issue, and then from your from someone background there's a group of people that were not suffering, and is it a particular client's diet or habit or lifestyle? You may wonder, and then sometimes if you're not aware of it, it can end up that although of course social workers are not trained not to do so, but sometimes because social worker as they can be overwhelming time that they're giving so much out of their time that they're tired, and it can end up probably some sort of victim blaming and things like that. But then when someone is aware of that, this is not just the individual's diet, habit, or lifestyle, but rather it is the social issue or so with that, one can be more empathetic, I would say.
Yeah. I think you're being very empathetic to social workers right now, and that's kind of you. Thank you. Because I think that you're very right about all of that too. But social workers acting from a place of ignorance or burnout can do real harm too. So that's why it's important.
True, yeah.
Okay, so I guess going off of that, what would you recommend to social workers if they want to learn more about this topic? Like, where should they go to educate themselves, or how can they learn?
You mean about particular?
I think
injustice.
About environmental justice, and I think especially like how it relates to like food issues, especially in like fishing communities in Buffalo, which tend to be like on a lower socioeconomic level, right? Like, so kind of like it's all tangled together.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
But if a social worker was going to start learning about it,
I mean, on top of my head, what I come up is that, for example, as you're interning with PPG, it's a good place to start as well. The partnership for public good. I mean, from there you will learn all sort of social injustice, environmental injustice going on.
And it's all online.
It's all online, yes, which is good. Yeah, and then it's it has there's a common commons platform that you can just access all this information. So that can be one stop. One place. Yeah. Another perspective will be to get to know and involve with all the communities, which is different from you, but not to but to to let yourself open for different options and to learn, and rather than listening to like one story. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
as you know, they're the leader of one story,
Mm-hmm.
but open up to everyone's voices, and to trying to hear more of people's opinions, and yeah, not to be dealt. I mean, not to be dealt into just one story, but rather to have the world around it,
Mm-hmm.
understanding of everyone's voice. That will be helpful for social welfare, I would say.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. I think you're very correct. All right, and that's it. So thank you so much for doing this interview with us and for coming to speak. We appreciate it very, very much.
Thank you, Teresa. Thanks for having me also.